Yeah. So good morning, guys. So in the last sessions, few demo sessions, I covered computer fundamentals and some simple aptitude questions, right? And today we covered some more aptitude questions, right? Now, so let's get started with SDLC, software development life cycle. And how many of you started this Excel basics and Word basics videos? How many of you going through them, guys? Guys, please respond. So you have to respond. You can't be silent, guys. How many of you started going through these Excel training videos and Word training videos?
No, sir.
I didn't do that, sir.
Very good, sir.
Yes, Rajesh.
I didn't do that, sir. Do it in the after completing the class.
Okay, Radhika.
I will do tomorrow. I thought of today no class because here Sunday evening night, right?
Okay.
I will do tomorrow. I didn't feel good also this weekend. I have throat pain.
Okay. So those who didn't start, please start this. So it's mandatory, guys. So you need to know, like you will be using Excel on a day-to-day basis almost. Excel and Word on a day-to-day basis. So you should know those Excel basics and Word basics. Clear? So open a blank document. How many of you checked if you have those training videos or not?
Yes, sir, I checked it.
Please check whether you are able to see the training videos in the help tab in both Excel and Word. Go to help tab, show training, click on show training and see if you are seeing those videos or not. Those training videos or not. Is everyone able to see those training videos?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you have licensed version only, I think you will be able to see. But if you have cracked version, I think you will not be able to see. Or if you have older versions, I think you will not be able to see. So please go through this, and I already gave assignment to you, right? So submit that assignment. Mark that as completed. Once you complete it, isn't it? I gave some assignment to you in the Google Classroom, right? On these Excel basics and Word basics. Oh, okay. I did not give any assignment. Okay, let me give it now. So please complete this, guys. Excel basic training videos and also so Word training videos. Okay. Word for Windows training. So under Word for Windows training, complete quick start, write and edit, format text, layout pages. Quick start. There's the other one, write and edit, format text, and layouts, right? Layout pages. Those who are not speaking, please unmute yourself. Please mute yourself. Go through training videos. Okay, Word for Windows training.
I have a question. You have Saturday, Sundays also class in your only one day. Sunday is not class.
We had one session on Saturday.
Okay, only Sundays is not class, right?
No, actually, like we'll have classes from Monday to Friday. But as I missed some sessions last week, I took session on Saturday.
Oh,
Otherwise,
these 2 weeks.
like
Okay.
yeah, from sessions would be from Monday to Friday.
Friday,
Okay.
usually Monday to Friday.
Usually Monday to Friday, yes. So if I miss any sessions on the weekdays, I'll cover it on weekend.
Weekends, okay, that
That's on
okay, got it.
Saturday. I'll
Okay.
compensate that on Saturday once and I took 1.5 months on Saturday. Okay. So it's already. So the next concept, today's concept that I am going to discuss is software development lifecycle and testing lifecycle, right? So what is software development life? So I have listed out here SDLC and testing lifecycle. I am going to complete this today. And who all are the new participants? Let me mark it. So what is software development lifecycle? So any software project will have all these phases, right? So any software project when it is under development, right? So it will have all these phases, whatever we are seeing over here. So it starts with requirement gathering. So let me use Spotlight. So it's your required. So your SDLC starts with requirement analysis, right? So who does the development? Guys, we software developers does the development, right? And first they will collect the requirement, software requirement, right? So we have a document. So we have a process called SRS for that. What is that? SRS, software requirement specification document. Did I create a document, Word document for you for your class notes? I think I created one Word document, isn't it? Feb 2023 batches. So there will be something called. So I will share this, this document also to you. If you share your Gmail ID to your Gmail ID. And this is, if you are taking running notes, yes, well and good. So if you are not taking running notes, right? So you will have all the important notes over here in this class notes document. So there will be a document called software requirement specification. That is called as SRS document, right? So developers collect all the requirements, or they will check the requirements in the SRS document, software requirement specifications document, and they will analyze the requirement. They will analyze the requirements, and so designing will be done. Designing will be basically done by software architect, development architect, right? So the architect will be designing the application. So what is meant by designing means, so which front end technology should be used, which back end technology should be used, right? What are the upstream and downstream systems? How should be the, what should be the application architecture? All that will be designed by the architect, development architect in the second phase. Okay. So now once the design is completed, right? So then developers will start writing coding for that as per the design, right? Developers will start implementing the implementation phase means nothing but coding phase. They will implement the design, or they will start developing the application in the implementation phase, right? So in the once the implementation is completed, testing used to be done before. Please remember that this is a nowadays we are following agile methodology. So this testing will be started along with the development nowadays, right? In agile methodology, testing will be started along with the development. Please remember that. However, this is a typical software development life cycle. Able to follow, guys? So, guys, able to follow?
Yes, yes, sir.
Right? Yes, so once testing is completed, right, the application will go into production, and that is called as evaluation phase. Once the testing is completed, software testing is completed, then it will go to production. That is called as evaluation phase. So these are the typical phases in any software development life cycle, right? So we are not interested in designing phase or implementation phase and requirement analysis. Requirement analysis means development requirement analysis, right? But we are interested in this testing phase, isn't it? So please note that here testing will be started along with the development in agile methodology, or nowadays almost all the projects are following agile methodology, and testing will be started as soon as the development is started. So we'll discuss that, what is agile methodology, and we'll discuss all those. Okay, so we are interested in this testing phase. Now let us see about testing phase. And before going to that, so I'll go to testing life cycle now. So before going to that, so this is one of my favorite quote about testing. So to tell somebody that they are doing wrong is called criticism, and to do so officially is called as testing, right? So if you say somebody that they are doing wrong, it is called as criticism, right? But to do so officially is called as testing while we are getting paid. Isn't it? Software testing over here is, right? Now let us discuss testing lifecycle. So we are interested in testing phase over here, right? So let's discuss, let's understand the testing lifecycle. I'll go to slideshow mode. Right? So once a developer writes some piece of code, they test that small piece of code, and that is called as unit testing. So what is unit here? Unit is a small piece of code. So what is the general meaning of unit? General meaning of unit is a small piece of something is called as a unit.
Awesome.
Right? So what is unit testing? So developers, as soon as developers write some piece of code, they test that piece of code, whether that is working or not, right? Working as expected or not. And that is called as unit testing. And unit testing is also called as white box testing. Unit testing is also called as white box testing. And it is done by the developers during the development phase or coding phase. So white box unit testing is done by the developers during the coding phase or development phase, right? And that is called as white box testing. Why is it called as white box testing? Those who are from manual
know,
testing. Yes.
they know about the technology which is used in the development stage.
Right.
They know about coding more than going right and
Right. So developers know about the internals of the application, which language is used, and about the code and all, architecture or some application architecture and all. Right. So that's why that is called as a white box testing. And what is black box testing then? If this is called as white box testing, what is black box testing?
Black box testing is done by testers.
Other than the developer will test that we call black box.
What is that, Rajesh?
Other than the developers can test the what coding can call black box testing.
Okay. So Rajesh is saying that like a black box testing, the whatever testing done by other than developers, that is called as black box testing. Right? So we'll discuss that. I'll have that, we have that in the coming up, lines. We'll discuss that. So unit tests isolate a section of code and verify its correctness. Unit tests isolate a section of code. So as soon as developers develop some piece of code, they test it individually, right? To verify the correctness. And that unit may be an individual function, method, procedure, module, or object. So that unit may be an individual function. So what is a function in software? What is a function? Function is a small piece of code which do some specific task, right? So let's take any example in Java or Java, C language or JavaScript, right? A function or a method is a block of code which only runs when it is called. You can pass some data known as parameters into a method, and methods are used to perform certain actions, and they are also known as functions. So function or method is a block of code which does some task, which performs certain action, right? Suppose there is a function to add two numbers. So if you pass the two numbers, it will add those two numbers and return the result. Return the sum of those two numbers. Clear, guys? Or if a function, if there is a method for calculating multiplication value of two numbers, right? Or three numbers. If you pass those numbers, it will return the output. Multiplication value of those two or three numbers, whatever it is. Clear, guys? So function is a small block of code which performs certain action, which performs some action. And we need to pass the parameters are data to that method, right? Method and function both are same. Clear, guys? So if you see some examples. So guys, when you are, if those who are from non-computers background, whenever you come across some new terminology like this, new term like this, let's say function, right? Just Google search and explore more on that. What is a function? What is function in Java with example, right? So go through those, go through those Google search results and understand those, and so that, you will remember that and you can answer confidently. Clear, guys?
sir.
Right? So you should learn how to explore and how to use Google search, and you should learn, you should know how to learn these new concepts. So a function is a reusable portion of a program. Sometimes it is also called as procedure or subroutine, right? So, and I think this is enough. Yes. Okay. 1 second. Java methods. Just this, the first one would be enough. Okay. Suppose there is an addition function, right? So it will, if you pass two numbers to that, it will add those two numbers and it will return the addition, some value, or return the addition value of those two numbers. Clear? So whenever you get some new terminology like this, function or method or procedure, so explore what is meant by procedure. Module, what is meant by module, what is an object, right? So we'll discuss that in detail when we go to Java concepts, right? So I will cover some Java basic concepts. Java basic concepts. You need not learn coding, okay? Java coding is not required, okay? But you learn some Java basics like if loop, for loop, and all this. At that time, when I am covering Java concepts, I will explain this. All right. If you are interested to explore before, just Google search and explore, something on that. Okay. So a unit may be a function or a method or a procedure or module or an object, right? The next type of test. So this is about unit testing. That's all you need to know. You need not learn about unit testing in detail, right? Because developers does that. We are not going to do that. But you should know what are the different phases in the testing life cycle. What are the different phases in the testing life cycle? Now the next type of testing is integration testing. So integration testing is done in an environment called SIT environment, where SIT stands for system integration testing. SIT stands for system integration testing, right? And now what is this integration testing? So integration testing is defined as a type of testing where software modules are integrated logically and tested as a group. Software modules are integrated logically and tested as a group. So let me explain with some example for this. So let us take this Gmail example. Suppose a group of developers are working on this Gmail example. A group of developers are working on this, developing this Gmail inbox, right? And see, not one developer cannot develop everything out of this, right? One developer may be working on the UI, user interface, right? So another developer may be working on the backend, right? Some developer may be working on the database, isn't it? So let's assume that one developer is working on this part, this left side navigation part, and another developer is working on this so let's say primary part, okay? Or let's assume that one developer is working on this, and one more developer or one more team of developers are working on there will be Google Meet and Google Hangout options, right? Isn't it? There will be options for Google Meet and Google Hangout. Let's say they are working, or see, you see a lot of Google apps over here, isn't it? One developer is working on this account tab, one developer is working on YouTube, one developer is, a group of developers will be working on maps, a group of developers will be working on this Google Meet, Google Drive, and all this, isn't it? So single developer or single team cannot develop this application. Yes or no? Agree, guys? Because there are a lot of Google apps. So a group of developers will be working on each of these apps or Google applications. Clear this? So once you integrate, so they are developing their own part of code, and at the end of the day, I know they have to integrate together. They have to combine all these together, isn't it? Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Books, Blogger, Hangouts, Jamboard, right? Google Classroom. There are a lot of Google apps over here, isn't it? And a group of developers will be working on each of these applications. Please understand that, right? One developer or one team, single team cannot develop all these Google apps. Now at the end of the day, like they have to integrate all these, right? What is meant by integration, guys? What is meant by integration?
Combine the object.
By joining together.
Right. What is the meaning of integration? Integration meaning is nothing but combining all those together, combining small pieces together. That is called as integration, isn't it? So what is the general meaning of integration? See here, integration. Yeah, the action or process of successfully joining or mixing with a different group of people. So action or process of successful joining or mixing, right? Or else let me give some more generic definition. What is the simple definition of integration? Okay, let me clear the drawings once. Right? So to form or coordinate or blend or unified or to incorporate into a larger unit or to unite with something else, that is called as integration. To unite or to combine with something else, right? So what is the general meaning of integration? Integration means combination, combining different things, that is called as integration. Clear, guys? Now, once all these pieces of code are integrated together, once all these apps are integrated together, right? If you click on YouTube, it should take you to YouTube like this, isn't it? From Google page, Gmail page, if you click on any corresponding module, right? Can we call this as different modules? We can call this as different modules, right? Yes or no, guys? If you click on Google Meet is one module. If you click on Google Meet, you should get this Google Meet page, right? So once these pieces of code are combined together, these pieces of code or modules are combined together, right? So they should work properly, right? They should work as expected. If you click on Google Classroom, so it should launch Google Classroom, right? So this is called as integration testing. Integration testing is defined as a type of testing where software modules are integrated logically and tested as a group, right? A typical software project. Here our example is Gmail example. Gmail is the software project. It consists of multiple software modules coded by different programmers. Coded by different programmers or teams, isn't it? Single programmer cannot develop any Google Classroom, for example. If you take Google Classroom, it can't be developed by a single programmer. Or if you take Google Meet example, a single developer cannot develop this module, isn't it, guys?
Yes.
Yes or no? Right?
Yes.
So a software project consists of multiple software modules coded by different programmers or teams. Now, integration testing is defined as a type of testing where the software modules are integrated logically and tested as a group. And that is called as integration testing, and that is done in an environment called SIT environment. So please remember this, right? And the purpose is, what is the purpose of doing this integration testing? Once these modules are integrated together, right? If there are any defects in the interaction, means suppose if you are clicking on Google Meet or Google Drive here, whether it is working properly or not, whether Google Drive is getting launched or not properly, or whether like any other module, this applies to any other module. Suppose if you click on Google Hangouts, so if you click on Google Hangouts, whether it is working or not, and not only that, not only working, so it should take you, see, this is my account, Google account. It should show my account and it should display that account over here, isn't it? Yes or no, guys? See, I have multiple Gmail IDs open here. So this is one more Gmail ID. And I have two Gmail IDs open in the browser. But if you launch the app from this Gmail, I am launching app from this account, perfdesk.kv@gmail.com. So I'm launching the app from this Gmail account. It should show the contacts of this Gmail account only. Yes or no, guys? See, this is Google Contacts. You know this, right? Most of you know this, Google Contacts. Yes or no? If you sync your, so in the phone also you might have observed this, right? If you sync the contacts with a particular Gmail account, all the contacts will be saved to that account, to that Gmail account. Yes or no? Guys, are you with me?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Right?
Yes, sir.
So once these different modules are integrated together, right? So we need to find out if there are any defects in the interaction, right? Testing the different modules after testing the software project after combining the different modules is called as integration testing. The word itself implies, right? Integration testing. Testing the different software modules once they are integrated together is called as integration testing, right? The next type of testing, and remember, this is the environment in which the integration testing will be done, SIT environment. So very important interview question, guys. What are the different environments in software development? Okay. So what are LLEs and HLEs? HLE, high level environment and lower level environment. Okay. HLE stands for high level environment. What is meant by HLE? Which environment is called as high level environment? Anyone? Anusha, those who joined the previous batch, those who are from the previous batch. Anusha, are you with us?
Yes, yes, sir.
What is meant
High
by
level environment and lower level environment.
what is meant by which environment is called as high level environment?
In previous class also I missed these classes, sir.
Okay. So high level production environment is called as high level environment. What is meant by a production environment? Anyone? What is meant by production environment?
The environment where actually the software is
After the release of web
Right.
applications.
The environment which is used by the end users once the software is released, right? For example, this is the high level and production environment of Gmail, right? Or if you take Amazon example, this is the production environment of Amazon, isn't it? Or if you take Flipkart example or Redbus example, right? This is the production environment which is used by the end users, real-time users, right? So this is called as higher level environment, the HLE. And what is meant by LLE is, right? See, this dev environment, right? SID environment and QA environment, test environment, right? Test or engineering environment. These are called as lower level environments. Okay. These are called as lower level environments. So all these are called as lower level environments. This development environments, SIT, system integration testing environment, QA environment, and test environment. What is so we'll discuss that. What is QA environment and what is test environment, and what is the difference between both of them? We'll discuss that. Right. So everyone is clear till now, right? Unit testing and integration testing.
Yes, yes.
yes, sir.
Now let's move on to functional testing or QA environment. Functional testing. Let's move on to functional testing. So what is functional testing? What is meant by functional testing?
Testing the functionality of that application, whether it is working as intended or not.
Right. Testing the functionality of any software application, that is called as functional testing, right? And this functional testing, whether it is working as per the requirement or not, whether it is working as expected or as intended or not, that is called as functional testing. And this functional testing is done in an environment called QA environment. Okay. This functional testing is done in an environment called QA environment, where QA stands for quality analysis or quality assurance. Please remember this terminology. QA stands for quality analysis or quality assurance. Okay. So what is functional testing? Yeah. Functional testing is the black box testing where the system is tested against the functional requirements or specifications. Functional testing is a black box testing. We'll discuss why it is called as black box testing later on. Functional testing is testing against the functional requirements are specifications of the application. This is called as functional testing. Clear, guys?
Yes, sir. Every
Yes, sir.
functional early or not.
Right. So now, so it is called as black box testing because so functional testing is done by test engineers and they don't know the code of in which language the application is. They need not know which language the application is developed, or they need not know that coding language, right? So they need not know the internals of the application. That's why that is a black box for them, right? That is a black box for them. Means they don't know the internals of that coding or of that application. That's why it is called as black box testing, right? Now let me give some example for this. Okay, for this functional testing. What is meant by functional testing? Suppose if you take, let us take Gmail example only or Amazon example. I'll take two examples. So first, let's take Gmail example. Everyone is very familiar with Gmail, right? Right. So once you type gmail.com, everyone will get this page, right? First, you will get this page the first time you are starting, right? So you will get this page, and here you will enter your Gmail ID, isn't it? So you enter your Gmail or phone number here, right? It is asking for email or phone. So let's say I enter my Gmail ID. This is my Gmail ID. Do I need to enter at gmail.com? Is it mandatory?
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
No need, sir.
It's not mandatory. Suppose if you see, I entered only perftest.kb. I did not enter at gmail.com. And if I click next, right, it will automatically take that. Observe here. It automatically appended that at gmail.com because we are on Gmail application, isn't it? So it automatically took that and it is asking for password, right? So once you enter your email or phone number, it should ask you your password. Now, if you enter a valid password, right, it should take you to the next level. It should take you to the next page. Okay, like this. For example, I am entering my valid password. It should take you to the next page. Of course, I had enabled two-step verification, right? So it should take you to the next page, isn't it? Suppose if you don't enter a valid password, right? Let me go to the previous page. Suppose you don't enter the valid password, okay? I am entering from junk password like this, right? This is not my actual password, isn't it? I am entering some special characters, right? Which is not a valid password. Now, what should the application do? What should the Gmail application do if I click on next?
Wrong password. Shows wrong password.
It
Right.
has to
So
show pop-ups.
it should display some error message in red color, right? Saying that wrong password, try again or click forgot password to reset it, right? So this is the functionality of the application, or these are the software requirements for this application. Requirements are functional requirements or specifications of that page. Yes or no? Of that login page. Understood, guys? What is meant by functional requirements or specifications?
Yes, sir.
Right? Suppose if you enter a correct password, it should. Now let me enter the correct password one more time. Right? If you enter a correct password, it should take you to the next page. If you don't enter a correct password, it should not allow you to log in. Right? It should display some error message, isn't it? If you enter correct password and do the, I have enabled the two-step verification, right? So now it should display your inbox, isn't it? So these are the functional requirements or specifications of that Gmail application. Now, so testing the specifications, testing the functional requirements or specifications of the application, or testing the application against the functional requirements or specifications is called as functional testing, right? Functions or features are tested by feeding them input and examining the output. So what is the input here for the login page? What is
Mail
the
ID and
input?
password.
User ID and
Credentials.
password.
ID and
Your email
password.
ID and password, right? First you enter your Gmail ID. That is the input, and see what is the output of that page, isn't it?
Result.
This is the output. So if it should ask for the password, right? Once you give some input, it should show the expected output. Clear? So functional testing ensures that the software requirements are properly satisfied by the application. Functional requirement ensures that software requirements are properly satisfied by the application, right? And this is done in QA environment, and where QA stands for quality analysis or quality assurance. And this is done in QA environment. Okay, functional testing is done in QA environment. Now, what is performance testing? Right? So performance testing is non-functional testing. So it's not about we are not bothered about the functionality of the application. It's non-functional testing, and it is done in an environment called test environment or engineering environment. The environment in which performance testing is done is called as test environment, or some organizations call it as engineering environment. Okay, and it is a non-functional testing. Please understand that. So this is functional testing and this is non-functional testing. We are not bothered about the functionality of the application, because functional testing team will take care of that. It's their responsibility. And performance testing is non-functional testing to determine or to find out an application speed, stability and scalability and reliability of an application, or to determine the speed means let's say you are typing, you are going to Amazon page, right? Or apple.com page. You are accessing Apple website. And it is taking some time to load the page, right? It took some 2 seconds or 3 seconds to load the page, isn't it? So that is called as speed. Speed means nothing but response time of the page. How many seconds it is taking to load the page, right? That is speed. Responsiveness, how responsiveness it is, how stable it is, right? How stable it is, or how reliable the application is. So that is testing that, non-functional features, that is called as performance testing. So I'll stop it here for today. We'll discuss more in detail about performance testing or non-functional testing in the coming up sessions, in the next sessions, right? So, and apart from this, there are a couple of other testings called security testing, right? UAT, user acceptance testing, and all those. I have listed only important ones. Okay. Of course, security testing is also important, but to know performance testing, right? So before doing performance testing, you will have all these types of testing. Okay. So apart from this, there is something called security testing as well. Understood, guys? Let me add that one also otherwise. So apart from this, there is one more testing called security testing. So in our project, security testing is also done in this SIT environment only. In my previous project, right? We have the security testing team as well. There was one guy for security testing as well in my last project. So, they are doing that in this SIT environment only. Security, they will not have a separate environment. Okay. But for performance testing, ideally we'll have one separate environment. All right. So I'll stop it here, guys, for today. So explore what is security testing. Okay. We'll continue tomorrow. I'll stop it here for today. So these are the different types of testing. Yes. Apart from this, you have other types of testing, penetration testing. I think penetration testing is also part of security testing, right? So there are a couple of other types of testing as well. So all these make together the testing life cycle for any application, software application, right? So tomorrow we'll discuss what is the difference between functional testing and non-functional testing, right? And we will discuss more on performance testing. Okay. So any queries before we close the session for today? So please join on time, guys. Please join by 8 o'clock sharp, right? And don't miss those aptitude questions because
సార్ ఆ మెయిల్ ఐడిలో కొన్ని మెయిల్స్ యాడ్ చేస్తా అన్నారు కదా.
Yeah, Google Classroom లో yes. I'll add your Gmail ID.
Going to change the timings or is it for 8 to 9 only?
Yeah, we'll discuss that. We'll discuss and finalize that. So I'll add your Gmail IDs to the Google Classroom. You will get an invite, guys. Okay, to your Gmail, you will get some invite. You have to accept that invite. Then only you will be receiving the assignments. Okay. So after the session, I'll add it. So please check that and accept the invite. All right.
Okay.
And regarding timings, we will discuss. Let me pause recording. So for the recording purpose, thanks for watching and subscribe and subscribe to my YouTube channel. So here is my YouTube channel, guys. Software performance testing real-time training. Let me quickly show that one more time. Right? Software performance testing real-time training. Right? If you go to YouTube, simply search for. If you are on YouTube and if you are if you haven't subscribed yet, so search in YouTube for software performance testing real-time training, and you will get my YouTube channel with this logo, right? So and or you will see MGM IT training. Okay, so MGM IT training. So I'll update it, and this is my WhatsApp number. Save my contact so that you will get notifications. If you don't save my contact, you will not get notifications, guys. Okay, so subscribe and turn on all notifications on my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.